What do you think about Snoop saying that he's the reason that Tupac was on Death Row Records?
Yeah, I saw him do the interview. Hopefully, John, you can post it.
Just so y'all know, Snoop Dogg is the reason why.
Suge, I used to always see Suge. When they did the soundtrack for Murder Was the Case, it was when I was going through all those legal problems, and he was like, yo, give me a song, dog. And I was like, yeah, you can get whatever you want. You know, gave him a song, and it was like the most I ever got for a soundtrack. I mean, the most I ever got for a song. It was damn near album budget. I mean, I think I got like something like 200,000 or 150,000 for one song. And the song, they didn't even use it, but I still got paid. You know what I mean? I got paid for everything I did on the soundtrack. And I think I did like 2 songs or something, and I remember when he did it like, yo, it wasn't even like because he was jocking me. He did it because he knew I was having crazy legal problems. And I was a man. He had asked me to come to Death Row, and I was like, I ain't ready. And instead of like taking it personal, he just did that for me.
But y'all gotta remember, I've been telling y'all don't believe me. I know it doesn't seem like it. Snoop is my favorite. I know a lot of y'all on this channel, Tupac is y'all favorite artist. Y'all have that right. Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube are my 2 favorite artists because of the era that I grew up in. It was got into rap a little bit like 92, 93, and they were the ones that were big at that time when I first got into it. Other than EPMD and the Ghetto Boys, those were the first full albums that I listened to, that I bumped a lot, but. Snoop Dogg is my favorite artist, and of course, favorite artist to go see. Y'all gonna have me dressing up in my when I get back walking and get back out there healthy, me and my wife, because that was the first concert I took my son to, because that's how proud I was, because I just wanted to show him how a great artist perform. And that was Snoop Dogg in Lake Elsinore at this baseball diamond that he, about 5 years ago, when my son was like 14 years old, 15 years old, I took him to this first concert. So Snoop Dogg is my favorite artist, definitely as far as live performance. I think he does a hell of a show. Dr. Dre does a hell of a production. And there's other artists out there, but that's who I lean to. Unfortunately, and the only reason I tap at Snoop, when I do tap at Snoop, is because he's trying to rewrite history. That's because it's obviously about to do a movie. And they're getting all this stuff out there just as I'm doing and other people are doing, to get out there just to get the history out there right, so y'all won't tear us up like y'all did in All Eyes on Me from that movie, because y'all know LT and L, they changed a lot of stuff that y'all know the truth to and y'all know the real to, and that's why y'all don't respect that movie. As good as a movie, not as good as a movie that could have been because of the performance by Mr. Ships. I think he did a good job. Meech Ships, shout out Meech, his son. But anyway, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to try to limit my tap to, because I know I'm coming off as a ex-Death Row member, guy's hater. You know, what I mean by that is I'm hating on everybody that's not associated with Death Row anymore. And I'm trying not to do that. But Snoop's lying again. Okay, y'all say, well, prove it, Reggie. How can you prove it? Well, y'all go ask Danny Boy. Y'all see interviews with me and Danny Boy where we talked about going up to the prison, because me, Danny Boy, and Buntree, and I think Big Jake, because I went up there about 2 or 3 times, because I remember riding in the limo, the limousine driver coming from Canada, talking to him, and he picking us up from a private airport and taking us to the prison. And I'm sitting in the car while David Kenner and Suge inside, meeting with Pop. This is 2 or 3 times prior to the day we went up there, prior to the Source Awards. 2 or 3 times prior to that, when we went up there and met with Pop. So Snoop in the interview was saying, after the Source Awards, or the day of the Source Awards, he the one that told Suge to go get Pop. I'm like, what? what the heck? I remember the day before the Source Awards, us going to the prison, and that's when it was kind of being told that, hey, yeah, it looked like it's going to happen. Now, y'all, the reason Suge was able to go to the Source Award, Suge wouldn't even able to get approved to go to that Source Awards if it wasn't for him having some business to take care of, meaning going to see Pac. Suge was wearing an ankle bracelet during that time. He was going to the prison, meeting with Pac with an ankle bracelet on. Okay, I'm the one that told y'all that I think reminded Snoop that it was a cardboard in the cage. He's taking credit for that. I remember Suge getting on the phone after we got that and calling Roy, his assistant, and telling him, man, get this cardboard picture made, this, and this. And me and Suge is the one that walked from Madison Square Garden Arena to the print store or the UPS store to get the board where it was shipped to, and brought it back to the Source Awards that particular day. So, like I said, I can't say the conversations that was had between Suge and Snoop when it was concerning bringing Pac to the label, because I'm sure he had to run that by Snoop and Dre. Those was his biggest stars. Say, hey, you know, there's a chance, but it didn't happen the day of the Source Awards. It was already in the motions. Say, oh, Reggie, you're lying. Why is it reported in the papers, I think in August the 28th or something like that, about the deal where we was fighting with Atlantic and Time Warner, and Jimmy and them was fighting with their distributor at the time, which was Atlantic Time Warner's, because they were going to MC8 and Universal eventually. But there's a big article in the LA Times about that, August the 28th. Why would all of that be public documented or public information if it wasn't negotiated and known that Atlantic Records and them were talking about splitting up, but it was still money to be owed, and they are the ones that put up some of the money to get Pac out of prison. Some of it, not all of it. But it all was what? Built back to Death Row and Interscope. However their deal worked out. Because like I said, all their money was, you pay for everything. After the profits, we split it 50-50. That's what happened, y'all. But y'all listen to what Suge say. He done told y'all in plenty of interviews. It was Keisha that called him, who was Pac's wife, and told him that Pac wanted to come and sing. He didn't say Snoop Dogg. He didn't say Miss Afeni. He didn't say anybody. He said Tupac's wife, Keisha.
Because when Pac called me, actually when Keisha, his wife at the time, when she called me and told me Pac really needed to see me, he needed me, and I was on house arrest. So I had to like sneak out, do a little bogus pass, get with the legal beagle, hop on a private plane, fly to New York, fly to some small place in New York, hop in a limo. That was about an hour drive to the dungeon to go visit him. We talked, we had our conversation, but Keisha played a real important role in making that phone call to help him. And I really, you know, my respect go out to her for that.
And that's what made him go up there to see. Now, y'all gonna say, there's some audio out there where Suge say, you the reason that Pac's on death row. Yeah, he was trying to get something from. He'd tell you anything when he's trying to get something from you. Or shoot that agenda. That's how Suge is. But what he was saying is he got permission because he was his biggest artist on